I'm Tiara Langley. I have 2 children, a 4-year-old and a 8-month-old.
I'm Kasha Dabney, and I have 3 children.
My name is Kaz. I have 1 daughter.
I'm Marvette Hines Decree. I'm the mother of 3 adult children.
My name is Courtney Beeman. I am a mother of a daughter named Parker, who is 11 years old.
I am Miriam Bowman Williams, and we had 3 children.
My name is Crystal Jones Dent, and I have 3 children.
My name is Janita Threet. I have 1 son, and he is 31 years old.
My name is Sheila London, and I am the mother of 3 sons.
When I realized that I was going to be a mother, I was actually terrified.
I was shocked.
I was very excited. I was in my first semester of college.
I had no idea what I was doing. It was my last year of high school.
First, I didn't think it was real. Like, I kept looking at it like, is this a second line? I was like, no, it's not. I'll take it again later. I'm like, I'm not pregnant.
I had no clue when I became a mom the first time.
I never had a baby before. And when they first put him in my arms, I said, wow, he's so tiny.
I enjoyed pregnancy, just the whole experience of being able to feel the baby growing.
Decision to breastfeed wasn't a decision. We didn't have all of the formulas that they had at that time. And so you automatically did that. You didn't think about doing anything else.
I had a difficult time with breastfeeding, like things that I thought were just going to come a little more intuitively. Like I wasn't so naive that I thought that I wouldn't have any problems with breastfeeding.
I didn't feel equipped at that time to make that decision with the first 2.
Honestly, I really didn't know anything about breastfeeding except what I may have seen on TV.
I was the first one to breastfeed in my family, so nobody around me was supportive. I don't know if they knew how to support.
I grew up in a time where not many young women my age at that time wanted to breastfeed. They thought they would say, oh, it was nasty.
A lot of, Black women, they seem to think it was a taboo.
My mom was like, you need to go feed him in the bathroom. And I was like, no, I don't want to feed my baby in the bathroom.
I just assumed that if I practiced the latch, went to the breastfeeding classes, went to the parenting classes, while I was still pregnant, that maybe I'd have a softer landing. And that was not the case. It felt like I was kicked out of a window. I don't know what is normal. Pain, discomfort, what's not normal.
The decision to start breastfeeding, it actually was a no-brainer because that was something directly in my family that I know that we just did.
My mom talked to me about the idea that we were the only mammals who didn't feed their children their own milk. God created us physically to be able to do that. And so why not try it?
When my children were breastfeeding, it was a good feeling. It was a closeness. They were getting something from me.
I think I kept worrying myself about, am I making enough breast milk for her? I bought all of these cookies and all of these treats off of Amazon that's supposed to help your milk and these teas.
I don't remember anything about pumping, for them to tell me to get ready for him. I can't remember any of that.
Back then, you were not allowed to take the time to take the breaks to breastfeed. So you had to either breastfeed or bottle feed, and I had to make the decision that she would be fully formula. It was very stressful because if you ever had a time where you really needed it at the last minute, you wouldn't find it.
The challenges that I faced the most was actually going back to work. I had to pump in the stall, at the restroom. Would you cook your meal in a stall? Would you make a shake in a stall? Would you, in your bathroom? Why do you think that's sanitary?
It was an OBGYN office, and so I worked with all women. And so you would think that it was going to be like women empowerment. I'm like, this is going to be great. And it was the complete opposite. I would have to use those breaks to breastfeed. And if I took longer than that, then I wouldn't get paid.
I think if it was more accepted back then, where they allowed you to have a place to break, it would have made the journey for my sons a little better.
If I could go back, I would tell myself to breathe and to not worry so much about what everybody else thought.
Do your research on breastfeeding, what works for you, what works for your baby.
No one is going to advocate for you more than yourself. So don't take no for an answer. Stand firm in your answer and keep it pushing.
It took 3 kids for me to get to a point where I didn't care what they thought about how I raised my children.
You're a queen bee, okay? And like your family and your friends, they love you and they want to be your worker bees.
There are a lot of support groups online. All you have to do is ask the older generations. They'll be willing to give you some helpful hints.
Give yourself grace and just give yourself time. Like it'll work itself out or it won't, but it's fine either way.
If you are a new mom, breastfeed your child. That is the best medicine that you can give them.
I have to feed my baby. And so it was just mine. That was my duty. And it was the pleasure of my life. It was. It really was the pleasure of my life.